So hi, I'm Matt. I'm based in California. I'm working on Taskable alongside my co-founder Tom, who's based in Warsaw, Poland. Taskable is a productivity assistant that keeps you in flow. On average, knowledge workers use 10 different software tools and spend over 2 hours searching through the internal documentation that they need just to get their work done. We're solving the problem of context switching and disaggregation of the information you need to do your work. We started working on this because Tom and I both had the same headache. We'd want to start on a task and we'd have to go into Slack to find a document. Then we'd get distracted by cat gifs. Then someone would share a funny video. Then we'd realize that document was actually in our Gmail, where we then get distracted by the latest thing at the top of our inbox. All this context switching pulls you out of your workflow and kills your productivity. For our go-to-market product, we have a few early integrations with Slack, Asana, Gmail, Google Calendar, and a Chrome extension that lets you add information into Taskable from anywhere on the web. We have an inbox feature that helps you prioritize by assigning effort and impact and organizing new information. Our All Actions page makes it easy to plan your day with drag and drop, and we always nudge you towards working on the highest leverage items by putting them at the top of your list. Finally, the Command Center feature lets you do things like schedule events right from Taskable, so you spend less time navigating to your calendar app. We think of Taskable as a new operating system for your digital world, helping you better navigate the 10+ tools you use on a daily basis. Our vision is to automate the inflow of relevant information into Taskable and help you send information to your other tools and even start automations and workflows, like qualifying leads and adding them to your CRM or arranging meetings. With Taskable, you spend less time getting lost and more time focused on your work. We have over 900 pre-registered users so far. We've onboarded about a third of those to our closed beta. Our active users love the ease and simplicity of creating that single source of truth for everything they need to be productive. We're launching an open beta and paid plans in a few weeks, and we're currently raising a $250K pre-seed round. Tom and I have worked together for a while, having previously built the Navigator fundraise management product from scratch to over 1,000 users, and we're both second-time founders. Thanks, and I look forward to your questions.
Awesome. Thank you, Matt. It's super nice to meet you. Super interesting, and I'm a big fan of everything in the collaboration productivity world. We're all, I think, drinking from the fire hose right now of different notifications coming in from every product you've got, every other product that your team is using. And so I think something like this is super useful. I'm curious if you think of Taskable as something that is both the read and write layer to all the other applications, or if it's more of a dashboard kind of home for content that you can check into, but that then you have to go into each of the applications to perform an action.
Yeah, definitely. It's more of the former. So we definitely want this to be a place where you can not only extract information from these tools, but also send information. So the first integration we have where you can do that is actually create a calendar event. Yeah. But the idea is you should be able to respond to a quick Slack message and say, I'm working on this, or send a quick email, or also you're going to be using project management tools like Jira or Clubhouse or Asana, and so being able to assign tasks to your teammates as well. So very much sort of a two-way communication. So it's sort of like this operating system where you sort of layer all these different products on it. We pull in the right information that you need to get work done. If you need to do a quick check-in in Slack, then you can do that. We don't want to replace some of these other tools. These other collaboration tools are great. You need to have that collaboration time, but when you need to get deep focus work done, Taskable is your place to do that.
Interesting. And how do you get someone started? Because I assume that the number one thing that probably takes the spot is either email, where everything gets funneled into, or Slack in various channels that you just get dumps of notifications and messages. How do you get someone started? Just to test the product, and then how do you get them to kind of share it with their teams?
Yeah, definitely. So I think everyone's sort of looking for a new way of working, and actually, we originally thought we could replace that workflow that people have of marking things as unread or storing messages in Slack and going back there, and that's why we initially started with Slack and Gmail as our initial integrations. We're finding is that most people come to us actually from Notion, where they're trying to solve that disaggregation problem, and the problem with Notion is Notion's a great product, but once that's not the use case for it. Once you get a bunch of data in there, you spend so much time having to maintain your dashboard, set up your workflows. Especially becomes hard if you have a team and sort of your Notion page is a manifestation of your own brain. So you're trying to bring someone else in that fold, it gets a bit messy. So we're creating a much more structured version of that aggregation and also making it the two-way sync as well.
Yeah, makes sense. Super interesting. And have you noticed any patterns in the types of early adopters that you have, either in companies, functional roles, pain points that they've had that were the tipping point for them to try something new?
We initially started because Tom and I were both freelancing, working in agencies, and we had that problem of having to monitor like 4 Slacks, 4 Asanas. It was a huge mess. So we started there. And then, then we started working on this and had more of the founder type problems. And so in a way, we've sort of been we're solving our own problems. So we're sort of marketing to people like us. So we spend time in communities like Indie Hackers and Pioneer, of course. And that's where we're finding our early adopters. Yeah, so that's sort of been our initial target market. I think the issue that initially we were really focused on this disaggregation problem. How do you bring all this information from these various tools into here? And then we also, once we did that, we sort of saw that second order problem of, similar to Notion, was if you get all this information in here, then you're creating this digital clutter, you're creating this sense of overwhelm, you're creating this sense of chaos in a different place. So we've been really thinking a lot about that planning and prioritization side of things, which is where we've been spending a lot, and also that sort of focus mode side. So we've been really thinking about that a lot, and it's really useful, I think, for me as a user, but for our users as well, to have that just gentle nudge on, here's what you should be working on, taking away some of that analysis paralysis of, I have a million things to be doing today. What's just the next thing I can do to move the needle, and not having to think about that.
It's a super sleek product. Well done.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.